Paul, yes. This manual that judges are to use about conducting the hearing, yes. In addition to the normal concerns that judges should have, that process appear fair and accessible to the parties. There are special concerns when domestic violence victims must appear in the same courtroom as their abuser, particularly when they may be appearing pro se. Oh, that pro se, yes. The courtroom should be set up to ensure the parties and their witnesses do not have to have direct contact with the other party or his or her witnesses. The parties are sufficiently kept separate that one party is not able to talk or signal to the other party before or after the hearing. A support person with a domestic violence advocate should be allowed to stand with the party before the bench or provide physical separation between the parties in some sense of security. Now, domestic violence advocates can be encouraged to review orders with the petitioner following hearing, as there are times that litigants are too fearful, upset, or reluctant to ask questions in court. Now, I noticed that you never gave me any court hearings. Ouch. You never allowed me any witnesses on my behalf. Yes. You just issued court orders, didn't give me notice of hearings. You never had proof of notice. You didn't have jurisdiction because you issued a dissolution of marriage superior court. Now, these hearings that should be, yes, appear fair and accessible to the parties. Now, why is it that I wasn't allowed to ever appear in court? You just didn't want to hear what I had to say? Ooch. Well, it says you have to conduct the hearings. Yes. Now, there's certain sections of the state legislature. Yes. There's a section 25. Yeah, prosecution by information. Offenses heretofore required to be prosecuted by indictment may be prosecuted by information or by indictment as shall be prescribed by law. Yes. For every individual that's an oath of office in Washington State, I gave you the actual information that should have resulted in the prosecution of each and every individual in Clallam County that has any legal or professional liability. Yes. Some reason why you don't think my evidence is sufficient to prosecute Superior Court Judges Rohrer, Williams, Melly, Knieves, that pro se Newport, Pooch. Is there some reason that you don't have enough evidence to prove that the court has intentionally obstructed my rights as an American citizen? Because I did provide, maybe prosecuted, because of the information of using a forgery, fraud. Now there's the grand jury. Yes, shall be drawn or summoned to any county except the Superior Court judge thereof shall so order. Then there's that treason defined, section 27. Ooh. Now I know. You thought that you could violate all the requirements of the domestic violence judge. Now there's this section 26, suits against the state. Yes, the legislature shall direct by law in what manner and what courts suits may be brought against the state. If there is no state legislature and I sue you for well, because I am. Yes. Exactly how does the state decide? Pouch! Now, I'm thinking that you're in violation of Section 26, that the suits against the state of Washington State actually cannot use the state legislature. So exactly what court do I get to sue the state in? Ouch! Now, these civil rights that you think that you don't have to enforce, ouch! I'm pretty fucking sure! Now, elections, viva vox vote. In all elections by the legislature, the members shall vote viva voce, with their votes shall be entered in on the journal. And then there's what's known as the special legislation. The legislature is prohibited from enacting any private or special laws in the following cases. Section 28, for changing the names of persons or constituting one person. Yes. Now, I noticed that Heidi could change the names of my sons. Instead of Budnick, it could be some other name. Maybe she wanted to go with Griggs, Bosma, Hodges. Now, this was very important. See this special legislation? 28. Yes. For authorizing persons to keep ferries wholly within the state, for authorizing the sale or mortgage of real or personal property of minors, or others under disability, for assessment or collection of taxes, or for extending the time for collection, yes. For laying open, for changing the names, authorizing the sale or real property of minors or others under disability. This the guardian ad litem, when you're going to involuntarily admit me to a mental facility, and then you're going to involuntarily obligate me to psychotropic medication in a mental facility so you can take my brains. Pooch. Does that give you the right to sell my actual inheritance that my family has wanted since they found out that I was very wealthy? Oh. Did you pass some special legislation known as restoration laws? Yes. That could be used to take hold of the actual assets of any individual? Yes. Without any due process? Right. Without any witnesses on my behalf? Yes. Without any evidence against me? In fact, without admitting the evidence, I wasn't in Brenton, Washington, June 16th of 2017. I wasn't in Sequim, Washington. On December 31st of 2017 or 15. Yes. Now, I think that the sale of my real or personal property or my disability under Social Security, a mental health disability, he's got a mental disability, he has a mental defect or a mental illness. Yes! I think your legislation of the restoration laws of Section 28 without actually proving any guilt of any crime. Yes. See, when I talked to my public defender about a year ago, yes. He said, you're having a 1077. I'm like, I wasn't in Britain. I didn't even know what was going on. I had emailed the police departments as a homeless man wanting to know, well, what was that August 21st of 2017 court hearing about where the deputy prosecuting attorney said, well, obviously he knows about it. He emailed us. I wanted actual notice from the state of jurisdiction requiring me to have to appear in court, but you sent the notice to the wrong address for the last 5 years? Yes! Now, I talked to him, you're getting a 1077, and I've been going to court for the last, must be almost 11 months. It's September, isn't it? Yes, 12 months. September 19th. We're real close to that date. It's almost like the 1 year anniversary. Pooch! But your restoration laws could cause somebody to have a disability that they don't have, so you could sell their own. Now, exactly what rule? Well, I'm suing you for your fucking restoration laws, violating the actual legislation. The special legislation known as legislation that makes somebody, mentally ill that they're not. Now, I know. As a state, look at here. I said approved. Now, corporate powers and privileges from giving effect to invalid deeds, wills, or other instruments. That would be the Section 8, yes, of the special legislation, yes, that does give effect to other instruments known as court orders, yes! See, the court has said, well, he has to motion the court. And I said, well, that's a forgery of the ex-officio Superior Court clerk. Yes. And they thought, no, we are going to make valid court orders that happen to violate the special legislation. Poocha, 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 poocha.